All right, what's going on, y'all? We are going to be doing an all-time fantasy draft. I got wonderful friends next to me. How about you guys introduce yourself for the audience?
My name's Ham Sizzle.
My name's Noah. Let's go France, baby. At time of recording, France has lost the World Cup, but hey, it is what it is.
Oh, I'm Bmart. Messi greater than Mbappe.
So a couple rules to get out of the way. One, we're doing a snake draft. The order is going to go Brendan first, then me, and then Hamza for the third pick, and then Noah for the fourth. So during that first round, obviously Brendan will get the first, Noah gets the last. When we go into the second round, Noah will get the first pick at the second round, and it goes in reverse order, and then Brendan will get the last pick, and it'll go through that. We have 10 picks total for everyone. So we'll do snake draft the entire way. On top of that, because it is an all-time draft, any player who has played in NBA history is on the table. Just to put more detail into that, because any player can be chosen, I'm allowing like players who maybe were great for a short amount of time, but because of injuries or whatever other circumstance, they just weren't able to sustain a long career. So a couple examples like Derrick Rose, Brandon Roy, those are some guys that come to mind. Those guys had some great peak years, but in terms of longevity, they didn't really have it. So if we do end up drafting any of those players, we're just going to assume that that's them at their peak, not them when they're battling through injuries. So we're going to start it off with the first pick, and that goes to B-Mart. So Brendan, who do you want to take with your first pick?
This is a hard because I feel like there's not a wrong pick here. I feel like there's not a wrong pick. I feel like who I pick kind of tells the direction of where I want my team to go. I would take anyone in the first pick. It would be MJ.
It's a respectable pick. I feel like the first couple picks are going to be easy. As time goes on, things are just going to get a little bit harder. I think I would be dumb here to not take LeBron, so I'm just going to keep it simple and just take LeBron. Oh yeah, and by the way, for our viewers, I do have a list of players that I possibly could draft. I don't know what you guys did for draft preparation, but um, I'm
I
prepared.
have
I'm ready.
the NBA 2K all-time players rating right here, baby.
I'm looking at the 75th anniversary team right now, but I did not plan anything ahead of time.
Honestly, that's not a bad list to have up.
Exactly, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Noah, do you have any lists?
I have such a good knowledge of good basketball players, that I'm confident in my ability to pick 10 after you guys have picked 10.
Well, with the third pick now, Hamza, you were on the clock.
This was actually kind of tough because I was like, top two are going to be MJ LeBron, and who comes third, and that's pretty debatable. But
Uh-huh.
I figured a safe option, which is also like, you know, fairly standard. Give me Magic Johnson.
All right, Noah.
Hey,
Your turn.
hey, 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 anybody who knows me knows who my first pick in any draft is gonna be. All right. Give me that Larry Bird ski, bro. Come on now. Come on now.
That's your guy right there.
Absolutely. He's my spirit animal.
Well, Noah, because you do have the last round or the last pick of the first round, you now get the first pick of the second round. So who is gonna be your second fiddle to Larry Bird?
I'm gonna be honest. Remember when I said I knew a lot about basketball players? No, I'm gonna go with Julius Irving, Dr. J. I like when he dunks. He paved the way for a lot of dunkers in the NBA today, so pay your respects.
Thank you for that pick, Noah. But Hamza, you were up next. Who are you gonna take?
I was hoping Noah wouldn't take this guy with his second pick because I knew Larry was going to go first to his team. So for my second pick, give me Kareem. Kareem the Dream.
I was wondering. I was honestly surprised he didn't get picked first round.
Well, we
Yeah,
do only have four people.
Well, that's fair. Because I was debating between him and MJ, to be honest.
What? I need to get a center now. And I think honestly he should have been the third pick in this draft, so I'm very happy about this. I'm gonna go Shaq. I'm gonna pair Shaq up with LeBron, most unguardable center of all time. All right, Hamza or Brennan, sorry, you're next.
I mean, I feel like kind of have to do this. I guess I have two picks here. So give me Wilt Chamberlain, Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill? Isn't that Will Barton's nickname?
yeah.
I have no idea.
Not Wilt Chamberlain.
And then with my second pick, I feel like I kind of have to do this because I don't know if he'll be here. remaining, but give me Kobe.
I'm big upset about that one because I was going to be my next pick. Now it's tough because honestly, I didn't think about my next pick. I thought I was gonna get Kobe. Especially since you just got MJ. I want to make sure that I'm keeping spacing. But I will have to take a little bit of a hit on the defensive end for this. I'm gonna go Curry on this one. I think I'm
I
gonna go
respect
Curry.
it. I respect it.
That's fair.
The thing with Curry is, obviously not he's going to be playing some pretty fucking good players, right? So defensively might be a little bit suspect, but there's a lot of great defenders all time. So I feel like at least just having one guy who maybe is an average defender isn't so bad, but being able to have, the spacing with Curry, alongside Shaq and LeBron, like it's going to be great. I like that trio right there. All right, Mr. Hamza,
See, this
who would
is
you like to
tough.
take next?
This is really tough because there are 3 guys I'm looking at, possibly 4. And I know I kind of have the pick after Noah's too, but I want to make sure I get this guy first. Give me Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Good
You already know
matchup.
Shafty is about to pick that.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Dude, this is 2 L's I'm taking today, bro. Come on now.
I had to take Timmy D. If people debate him on the same level as Kobe, like you got to pick him up. I think the fact that he went this late is also kind of late.
All right, Noah. Who is gonna be your your backup pick to Tim Duncan?
All right. I want to go for pedigree here for the first pick. So I'm gonna go with Bill Russell. And then for my
Wait.
second pick, you know what? Give me Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete Maravich, baby. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Dude's got passing, handles, and he can shoot. He's my Curry.
That's so nasty. Don't ever compare Pete Maravich to Steph Curry ever again. All right, Hamza. I think you're gonna be able to get your pick probably. That
I'm glad. I'm
yeah.
glad it worked out the way it did. Give me Kevin Durant. I know
Yeah.
he's a snake. I know I don't like him, but I have to respect the fact that he is top 2, if not number 1 greatest offensive player of all time. And then matching him up with top 2, if not 1 greatest offensive player of all time in Kareem.
Now I'm happy because even though I was debating between Tim Duncan or Curry, I was able to get Curry. But on top of that, I'm still able to get a two-way power forward who can still stretch the floor. And in my opinion, I think he might be a better defender than Tim Duncan. Just maybe slightly, or at least like the same. I'm gonna get Kevin Garnett. Defense in the paint with Shaq and KG is gonna be insane. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, Brennan.
There's one player I'm debating, but I'm just worried he's gonna screw up my spacing.
Manu Ginobili?
No.
That's a spacer.
Dude, you could space the floor.
He spaces hair, that's for sure.
I'm not sure if he'll be my starting, but I'm just gonna get him because I know he's a good player. I'm gonna give me Oscar Robertson.
You can have him.
I might do a 4 because I feel like it might get taken, and I'm honestly surprised Shafty hasn't taken him yet. But give me Dirk.
All right. So this is gonna seem a little bit nasty. Just because of I technically still need a shooting guard for my starter. However, I'm not too worried about that spot right now. I feel like I can get people later on. So I'm just gonna almost solidify my defensive presence in the paint, and I'm gonna get Hakeem as my backup center. I really like that. And again, like the center position after a little bit, it gets kind of watered down. So like being able to have Hakeem come off the bench and then like I don't know, play like David Robinson or Patrick Ewing, I feel pretty happy about that matchup. So
This guy won't start for me, but he's still on the board. And I feel like I kind of have to take him. Give me Giannis. Getting
mhm.
Giannis off the bench is huge. Defensive player of the year, MVP caliber, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, you still kind of need some spacing, but
That's
he's
why he's
probably
coming
coming
off
off
the
the
bench.
bench. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Noah, you got back-to-back picks.
I think I'm gonna go with my center first, and that's gonna be Yao Ming. Bro, you laugh. This is like legit a good team in my opinion. Like
I'm
these are players I think are real, like in their primes were just crazy.
I'm laughing because when I was making my list, I put Yao Ming at the very bottom. I knew I wasn't gonna pick him, but I'm like, I bet you Noah's gonna pick him, and you
Yeah.
did. So
I did. And then for my second pick, so now I kind of have freedom, right?
yeah, lots of freedom.
We'll go for a shooter like Ray Allen.
It's not that I hate you, but it's the fact that like Now you're like forcing me to do stuff that I didn't want to do yet.
Hey, you know me, bro. Sleeper right here, bro. Big sleep energy.
Hamza, go.
God, this is tough because I want a shooter.
Mm,
Give me James Harden.
My God.
You.
It's good.
Brendan, why do you say ooh about Harden, dude?
I don't, I don't know. I feel like there's better shooters and I mean overall better players. Like Harden can't defend for shit.
I'm gonna finish my starting lineup with my shooting guard. I was debating, honestly, if I wanted to wait even more, but because Noah took Ray Allen, it's kind of sped up my draft a little bit. Because I actually wanted Ray Allen, but I was gonna get him later. I'm gonna go with Tracy McGrady. Great scorer, great height. Like my starting lineup outside of Curry, everyone is 6'8" or higher. So I got a pretty big lineup. Still keep the defense honest. And now, like, honestly, I mean, all these guys are like 25, 30 point per game scores, but in terms of like what I may end up running, like being able to have like a go-to scorer like Tracy McGrady, like in times of need, I definitely like that.
Like I want to get in our guard. Give me D Wade.
All right, so we got our first 6 picks out of the way. I'm pretty sure all of our starting lineups are solidified at this point, and then we got, a 6 man off the bench. So just starting from the top, we'll go Brendan. What are you thinking about your team? Any concerns so far about the draft?
No, not really any concerns. Today it's all about spacing and moving down the floor and 3-point shooting. So I'm kind of debating, do I want to try to get a 3-point shooter or do I want to kind of like solidify on the inside? Um, I'm kind of thinking probably on the outside, but it's kind of debateful right now. But I think this next pick, I think I'm gonna solidify at least more on the inside and get a good defender here, to get rebounds and blocks.
I really like my team so far. We have a good combination of 3 and D. I do want a little bit more spacing because even though Kevin Garnett can, hit the mid range, he's not really a 3-point shooter at all, but he also didn't really take a lot anyway. So I do want to get some more spacing. I don't know if I want it from the big man position or if I want it from the guard. So that's kind of like my only concern. Is just I'm very indecisive about that. But I think it's going to get really interesting. I think as we go along here, I think there's going to be some pretty big names that just don't end up getting picked because at this point, like we're probably going to be looking for stuff that like we need for our team to like try to make it perfect.
My team looking pretty solid. I do want to get a bit more spacing, but that's why there's plenty of shooters towards the back end of this. I love the size that I have. Shortest guy I have is Harden at 6'5". Everyone else is 6'9" or taller. Defense is looking crazy. You got scoring all over.
I'm comfortable with my picks. I have a lot of freedom now in what position I want to fill next, so I'm feeling good.
All right, so Brendan, we left off on your back-to-back pick. So you got Wade, who's going to be your 7th pick.
That's got to be Carl Malone.
Oh no. I'm honestly glad you picked him though.
I feel like you kind of have to, especially in the 1996-97 season.
Yeah, I guess. I think this is gonna be a major um aha moment here for you guys. I think this guy's kind of going under the radar for y'all. A good shooter, a major playoff performer, 3 and D as well. Coming off the bench with Hakeem, the defense is gonna be insane. Let me get Kawhi, bro.
I wanted him. I was about
I'm
to take him.
There's no injuries. We got the injuries turned off.
Yeah, I wanted Kawhi, but that's all right. I'm gonna get Reggie Miller. I want a lights out shooter.
Oh, that's nasty.
I want a sniper.
Why Reggie over like other players though?
Because I want shooters. Uh I know he wasn't a negative defender. He has height, can handle a little bit, and we know he's drilling threes. So with the
Hmm.
passing and IQ that I have on this team, he's gonna find open spots on the floor. It's just gonna be money.
I think personally for me, just with the list of names that I got, there's players who I think space the floor out maybe better or even, and they're able to just provide more on the defensive end, or even if you look at like the point guard position, like you have playmakers. I think just outside of shooting and maybe being like an average defender, feel like Reggie Miller doesn't bring anything of like high value. I think there's just other guys who do, and they can do kind of similar stuff that Reggie Miller does as well. So
The drop off that I might get in those things would be made up by the shooting, especially with the guys surrounding him.
I think
But
Reggie
yeah,
Miller is
I
that
get
good
it.
of a shooter.
Hmm?
I mean, Reggie Miller is a great shooter, don't get me wrong, but is he that good to the point where like someone being like a by far better defender than him is like and like equal shooter is like enough?
What other equal shooters are there on this list with that size?
Again, I don't want to say because I don't want my pick to be taken.
Okay, up to you.
All right, Noah, you're next.
I have 2 picks here, correct?
Yes, you do.
All right, so I'm gonna go with my point guard first. I'm gonna go with AI. And I'm picking him because I feel like he'll be fun to watch. I feel like he'll really cause problems for opposition defenses. And I think for my next pick, I really want to solidify that power forward spot. I think I'm gonna go with prime Chris Bosh.
I love how you have to say prime Chris Bosh to make it better.
Yeah.
Not Chris Bosh, prime Chris Bosh.
Optimus Prime.
I do want a big here because
Okay.
like you kept saying there was a big drop off. So let me get David Robinson.
I think there are better players to pick, but again, I need to get spacing. This is the player that I didn't want to say, because I didn't want him to get picked. I'm taking Klay Thompson, a noticeably better defender than Reggie Miller, and in terms of shooting, he's equal, if not maybe slightly better than Reggie. Off ball player, so he'll just fit well. Obviously, I have Curry on the team, so I already know that if T Mac comes off the court and I put in Klay, like that duo is gonna work. And again, I have LeBron as well, so like LeBron, and I'm having some two all time great shooters on my team next to Shaq, KG, and Hakeem. All right, Mr. Brendan.
I'm gonna do Dominique Wilkins. I feel like he's a solid 3 for my bench, all around player. And then debating, do I want a guard? Make sure no one's taking him. Yeah, we're good. Give me Patrick Ewing.
So I still need a point guard and I still need a power forward off the bench. I think for this pick, there's still a lot of great point guards, so I think I'm good to wait for my last pick to get that. So I think for my power forward spot, even more defense. Again, when we're thinking about peak, this guy was absolutely dangerous in the bubble. Give me AD.
I was debating him too.
Really, my only guy who could space out the floor, at least before AD, was KG. So if I have to, like, I could have AD out there next to KG with the spacing and have AD at the center. I like that. All right, Hamza.
All right. Since I'm planning to run Reggie Miller at the 2, it's kind of interchangeable between the 2 and the 3. Give me Scottie Pippen, 3 and D. I want a shooter, and I don't want to get burnt on defense coming off the bench. So
Already know you got back-to-back picks. These are your last 2 picks right here, so you got to make them count.
Okay, for the first one, I want Clyde the Glide. I can't remember his real name, but I know they called him the Glove.
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton, yeah.
All right, Hamza. Your last pick starts now.
comparing to you guys right now, yeah, I'm looking at point guards right now. There are plenty of options for point guards, especially at this time. Some guys who I considered were Westbrook, but I feel like that's just me being a little biased as an OKC fan. Could throw Dame into the conversation, but really the main 2 I'm looking at are Isaiah Thomas and Chris Paul. So with that, I think I do want the shooting. So give me Chris Paul.
I'm upset.
Hate to break it to you, but
That was my pick. That was gonna be the pick that
Hornets,
bring it
Chris
home.
Paul. Hornets, Chris Paul. Give me that.
Dude, I was it 2007 was like I think he was like top 5, maybe runner up for MVP that year. Yeah. I really wanted Chris Paul. I thought maybe I would be able to get him. Now this makes it a lot tougher because with the point guard position, I want to keep the defense. I especially want defense at the point guard position because if Curry does become a problem with defense, I could have, someone like Jason Kidd coming back and helping me out on the defensive end. But then I'm giving up shooting, right? So I think honestly I might just have to favor shooting a little bit because I have defenders everywhere else. It sucks to not have a defensive point guard. And this is what makes it so hard too. So right now I'm debating between Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. I'm not looking at John Stockton. Fuck John Stockton. I'm looking at Lillard, Luca, and a sleeper one as well. I'm looking at Penny Hardaway. I'm gonna take Luca. Fuck it. I think I ended up going Luca here because offensively, just one of the best offensive players, really already of all time. One of the best playmakers of all time already. I don't think I have to wait 3 more years to make that statement. Not the best shooter, I guess. He will shoot the three. But he's a great mid-range shooter, big body as well. I think it gets kind of overblown. His defense, I think some people kind of underrate it. Not to say that he's like some all-time great defender. But I think at times people think he's a defensive liability. I'd say he's average. But it's very inconsistent. So I would hope that with all these guys that he's playing with, that he would be able to pick up some motivation from them. All right, Brendan, you got your last and final pick here. I gave you a lot of time to think about it, so I hope that you got it.
I'm still debating, but I mean I got it down to like 3 people. Jerry West, Steve Nash, Bob Cousy, Jason Kidd, Penny Hardaway, and John Stockton.
Bob Cousy.
Fuck.
Go Bob Cousy for the culture, dude.
You have Bob Cousy, but not Westbrook.
No, because I want a shooter.
You have Jason
Dude,
Kidd,
no.
but not
Bob
Westbrook.
Cousy was not a shooter.
I mean, that's why I have him on the list. That's why it's not like I don't think he's making my final 3. Believe me. I think I'm gonna go Jerry West because I think he's a better 3-point shooter than Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash is raw and it was a tough one, but I think Jerry West is a better 3-point shooter. And I mean, I think both are like pretty decent on defense. I think Jerry West would be a good addition.
I just want to let you know that when Jerry West played, the 3-point line was not in the league.
It don't matter.
Okay. All right, so we got our starting 5s all and our benches all set up. So we'll start with Brendan. Brendan, make the case why you think you have the best team out of us 4.
I think it's pretty obvious. When people talk about the GOAT, like who the GOAT is, there's 3 people that come to mind. 3 people that come to mind. I have 2 of those people that come to mind. Kobe and MJ. I feel like them 2 together, unstoppable. Like it don't matter who you guard, have them guarding against them, they're gonna score every time. And then I think Oscar Robertson just moving the ball around, overall assists. Overall, I think good on defense. I think that would be good. And then you also have the 4 and 5. Dirk, I mean, if you want to do like a 4-out type offense, that's easy to do with Dirk. If you want to do mark a 3 with 2 guys inside, easy. And then you have Wilt Chamberlain, one of the greatest to ever do it. And then my backup, I got pretty much solid all around. I mean, Patrick Ewing coming in for probably Wilt, good rim protector, can score. Karl Malone can score. Defense, I feel like he's solid. He's not the best defender for like a 4, and then you have Dominique Wilkins. I think an all around overall player. Got hops, crazy athleticism. Same with D Wade, especially in his prime with the Heat. And then Jerry West. I think Jerry West isn't a key. I think he's gonna help to spread that floor on the backside and bring in a 3-point shooter that you would need in those game time 3 situations.
Yeah. So the only thing I would say with your team, Brendan, is I think it's honestly just the spacing, and it mostly has to do with the bench because
How?
Well, I mean, Jerry West, I guess you could say, is a shooter, but he never played with a 3-point line, so we don't really know how good of a 3-point shooter he actually was. Wade isn't known as a 3-point shooter. You probably wouldn't. Neither was Oscar Robertson. So in terms of like your point guard position, there's not really going to be much spacing there,
Mm.
unless you were going to rely on Wade. Like if spacing becomes such a problem where like you put Wade in with Kobe and Jordan, um, like none of those guys are really like elite playmakers either. Sure, like they can all distribute like pretty well. Um, but Oscar Robertson is obviously the better playmaker out of all these guys. So I think on top of, not really having much shooting to maybe diversify your lineups, like if you do end up having to like change your lineups a little bit, like you are going to miss out on playmaking if you have to put in more spacing because of Oscar. Um, Dirk definitely does help, but then even with Dirk, like defense isn't going to be the greatest as well. So like if you're going to switch it out with Malone, then you're again losing spacing, taking Dirk out as well. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with the center position. Obviously having Kobe and Jordan is great. But I just think the spacing would be a major issue because even if you decided to change your lineup because of the spacing, like you would be losing out on other stuff as well.
I don't really think I have too much to add. I didn't pay too much attention, though I do agree the spacing is somewhat questionable. I think it's solid. Nothing I hate.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move on into my explanation for my team. So for my starting five, I got Steph Curry, I got Tracy McGrady, I got LeBron, I got Kevin Garnett, and I got Shaq. Personally, for me, I really love my starting five. Um, just because, again, if we're talking about peak, Curry, T-Mac, and LeBron, they could all space out the floor. Curry's the best shooter of all time. So even if there are question marks about having Shaq and Kevin Garnett on the same team together, or at least on the floor together, I think Curry more than helps with the spacing with that. And KG is a very capable mid-range shooter as well. So again, the spacing really isn't that bad. And again, when you look at like other teams, the other teams, just in terms of like that big man position, there really isn't a lot of spacing from that position either. So even if you think I'm gonna have problems, the other teams are gonna have problems as well. I just think my team does the best job at kind of trying its best to negate those problems. That's why I kind of prioritize spacing in the guard positions, even if the defense wasn't really there for Curry. Same thing with the bench as well. Luka again isn't the greatest defender either. At best, he's an average defender. But just what he's able to do on the offensive end, I think, is more than welcome on my team. And having Clay and Kawhi at the wing positions for defense is going to be great. Clay, again, is a top 5 shooter in the NBA history. So, again, that kind of makes up for maybe the spacing between AD and Hakeem, or even, KG and Shaq if T-Mac isn't getting it done in terms of the spacing. And then Kawhi, again, off the bench, is fantastic. I love the 3 and D. And also the thing with Kawhi is as his career has gone on, he has turned into more of a scorer. And while that has been great, his defense has taken a little bit of a hit. But when you're on a team with all this scoring, I think having Kawhi there, I think he won't be pressured as much as he is right now to play like or have like this huge role in the offense to where like I think what he was doing back, in San Antonio on defense, I think he'd be able to do that again. And again, he's just gotten better as a shooter. So I love Kawhi there at the backup 3 spot. AD at the 4. When you just think back to the bubble, that guy just could not miss from mid range. Was a solid 3-point shooter. So again, if KG is a problem with shooting, I think AD is a better shooter than KG, and he still brings some great defense. Then having Hakeem off the bench, I honestly think I have the best center as the starter, and I have the best center off the bench as well. So I'm not too really worried about those two positions as well. Overall, my team is just very versatile. And if I do play against Noah, who you guys probably see has Clyde Drexler at the 4, I can match that lineup. With my small ball lineup, I can put LeBron at the 4 and bring in Kawhi at the 3 or something like that. But I probably won't do that. I'll probably just punish Drexler with AD.
Yeah, I guess my biggest question marks for your team are defense at the guard position, having Luka and Curry, and to an extent, T-Mac. You do make up for it with interior defense. Uh, I love that defensive lineup, the front court and small forward that you have, but
I think it's overall is pretty solid. I would say really I think your weak point is the bench. I think I'm just looking at all the players like play style. I feel like your bench is very like I think the flow of everything will be very clunky. I mean like Luca, Luca is like kind of a guard, but he's kind of a slow guard. Like your fastest player is Clay on your bench, and Clay is not even that fast. Um, he doesn't like you don't have much speed in your back and in your bench.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can be a really big weak point is just kind of the speed of how your offense will roll. Um, my other concern, I guess, like I think KG and Shaq, like that's awesome for defense. I feel like it might clog things up in the paint where you get like them double teamed a lot, or it'll be a lot easier to double team because like if they're both kind of hovering around the paint, it's less distance for the defenders to guard them.
Mhm.
I mean, Kevin Garnett, he can shoot the mid range, so it kind of helps spread it out. But I just feel like overall your team's just clunky.
I was gonna add that since you brought up the bench, that kind of brought it to my attention. The only playmaking that you have off your bench is Luca. Clay is not playmaking. Kawhi, sure to an extent.
Yeah.
AD, not too much. Hakeem, not too much. So it's like gonna be very
Right.
Luca centric. And
Right.
dudes, I don't think they're gonna be played to their maximum capability, especially when you have Kawhi who needs the ball to be good. Magic at the one greatest passer of all time. He's got size. He not a great 3-point shooter, not a good 3-point shooter, but he can hit the mid range. He'll find you open guys, especially with high IQ guys like KD and Kareem. If you're setting screens with Reggie and KD running around with Duncan and Kareem, like Magic is going to find someone open, whether it's right under the basket or it's a wide open three. And if all else fails, give the ball to KD, Kareem, and just get out the way. Um, Only question for my starting lineup would be Reggie Miller's defense, just because he could get burnt, but the fact that we have all guys that are 6'9" and above, all pretty solid defenders. KD's the only pretty solid defender. Everyone else was like all-star caliber, if not defensive player of the year caliber. So that kind of covers that ground up. Coming off the bench, Chris Paul, defender for his size and position. Uh, if we're talking Hornets, Chris Paul, great shooter, great slasher, great playmaker. MVP discussion went head to head with Kobe for that. Harden MVP season, that's pretty self-explanatory. Again, defense a bit spotty, but things he can do with the ball are insane. Uh, Pippen, really nice role player to just let the other guys do what they need to do. Gives you the three, gives you the D. And that's all you need out of him. Giannis can be kind of your glue guy on both ends of the floor. Just having a Chris Paul and Giannis pick and roll with Harden and Pippen camped out at the three, that's just chef's kiss. David Robinson hold things down defensively and also hit mid range if needed. So I'm very content with my lineup.
Very
For
solid
sure.
team. I think looking at the team so far, I honestly think you have the best team if I'm not including myself. Your starting five, the first thing that comes to mind is your length. I feel like you could cheese with like a 2-3 zone and there'd be like no way of penetrating. I think your bench, the CP3 and Harden, I think obviously they're great scorers. Their defense is a concern, I feel like, especially Harden's. CP3, I know he can steal the ball and, get those cookies real easy out of the jar, but I mean, overall, I think he can get overrun by some people, especially compared to like Magic as your starting point guard on defense.
You
Um,
mean run over like bigger guards or something?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, my thing was the CP3 Harden pairing because it obviously worked in the first season that they were together, but the second year was obviously bad, or not as good. So I'm assuming that if these guys are going to be together, they have the relationship of the first year rather than the second year where they like hated each other's guts. I think it would work. I mean, if we're just thinking about the first time that they were together, it worked.
Right.
But also when they played together, that team had a lot of spacing.
Right.
So if you were to play those two guys together and you wanted it to work, I guess similar to how it was, you may want to put KD at the 4 in replace of Giannis. Or if you wanted to keep Giannis, you can put KD at the 3, I guess, to like, I don't know, kind of try to replicate that. And Brendan,
Yeah.
you were concerned about defense with the backup guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm more worried about the starting backcourt defense.
Hmm.
Um, even
I
if we
thought
want to think,
Magic was pretty good at defense.
I personally do not think Magic was the greatest defender. Not saying he was bad, but I would say he was definitely an average defender. He was a fine defender, and it does help him that he is big.
Yeah.
Um, but with Reggie Miller, he's gonna have to play against, at least in my starting lineup, he would have to play against Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant. I think he would have a day off against Ray Allen, but like he's gonna have to guard Kobe or Jordan.
Right.
And if it's not those guys, then he's gonna have to guard Oscar Robinson, right? So like you're just
Right.
looking at Hamza's team versus your team, Brendan.
Right.
Hamza, what would the defensive matchups look like for you there if you played Brendan?
Probably Magic on Kobe and then Reggie on Oscar.
Yeah, so even then, obviously Oscar is probably the easiest guard, but even then, like I don't think Reggie Miller stands a chance. I
Well,
just I
what's Oscar Robertson doing to put pressure on Reggie Miller? Like he's not like
I think you can put him in the post. You just post him up. Um,
Reggie is taller, and if he wants to do that, then
but he's not sure. I don't think he's gonna be stronger than Oscar. Reggie
right.
Miller
But
is
you still
skinny
have
as hell. That dude
you
looks like
have
he's on
help
crack.
defenders with Duncan and Kareem because who's on Brendan's team? You can't really help too much off Dirk, but whoever's guarding Wilt can just go double that.
So I also don't think Reggie isn't like an that great of an athlete in general in terms of like speed as well. So even if you want to bring up the size, or if I want to bring up the size, I still think just in terms of foot speed, wouldn't really be great. And especially if you play my team, even if you put like you would probably put Reggie on Curry, right?
No, actually,
I mean, you would have to.
I don't
Because
know.
there's no way you're putting Reggie on LeBron and then like T Mac is 6'8", and it's like it's same thing. It's like Kobe. So like if you weren't gonna
Yeah,
put Reggie Miller
probably
on Kobe, you're not putting him on T Mac.
maybe Magic on Curry, Reggie on T-Mac.
Yeah, and even then, like I don't know. I don't think that's great for you. I do like your team though. It is really good. My main thing is just a Reggie Miller pick. I think you could have gone Clay.
I think we should move on to, Shaft. He hasn't we haven't heard
Yeah.
from the big boy in a fat
Yeah,
minute.
Noah, do you have anything to say about our other teams?
Nah, it's my first day out here, so I don't really know. I don't know much about basketball. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of lied at the beginning. I played a little 2K in my youth. Um, and
Your
your
youth
guys'
was
teams
three
look,
years ago.
yeah, man. Your guys' teams look pretty good to me. My team is really more a team of passion. Uh, you know, I can't really speak for the technical abilities of these players. What I can say is that we got a lot of heart. We got that dog in us. You know what I mean? We got that dog mentality, right? We got Larry Bird. He's gonna be talking trash to you the entire game, right? We got Pistol Pete. He's gonna be doing through the legs, round the back passes, maybe shooting a couple pistols, smoking a couple cigars. Who knows? We got Ray Allen, who's gonna shoot the ball. We got Bill. We got Bill Russell, who's gonna show off his jewelry. He's got real shiny rings, right? Them shiny rings. We got Yao Ming, who's gonna just straight up smack the top of your forehead, kiss you like a baby. We got Allen Iverson, who's gonna just dribble and run and not go to practice. We got Gary Payton, the glove. He's gonna steal the ball from you and play basketball. We got Dr. J. He's gonna diagnose you with absolute minuscule ability. He's gonna dunk on you. He's gonna dunk on you so hard that you're gonna go to tennis. We got Clyde Drexler, Clyde the Glide Drexler. He's gonna fly. He's fly as hell. Clyde the Glide Drexler, Big Drex. You know what I mean? He's gonna run. He's gonna dunk. He's gonna play basketball. We got Chris Bosch, the one and only, the one and only Chris Bosch. He's got cool hair, man. He looks like a dinosaur, so I like him. That's why I put him at my 10 pick, or at least my backup center. And yeah, overall, this team we got that dog in us. You know what I mean? So I feel confident. And yeah,
I have no critique.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have any critiques?
Nope.
I don't see any problems.
thank you.
All right, real
Only concern Yao Ming might be a bit slow at center, but other than that, I think you're solid.
My team is the dream team, all-time dream team. We're
All right.
absolute dogs.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll say who we think has the best team that's not including yours. So we'll start from the top. Brendan, who do you think has the best team?
I think it's Hamza.
Okay, I would also say Hamza has the best team. Hamza?
It was a toss up between you two. I think
Not Noah? Noah's not even in the conversation?
What the heck, dude? What the fart?
I can't rely on just heart.
Oh,
I
man.
need a little more. I need a little more than that. But it was tough between Alex and Brendan, but I was not a big fan of Brendan's bench, so I give that to Alex.
And Noah, who do you think has the best team?
Hamza. I think he's got. I think he's got enough modern players that it just the type of game is different, and so he's definitely got an advantage there.
All right, so for second place, now we have to think who has the second best team. So Brendan, you said Hamza has the best, so who do you think is the second best?
It'd be Alex.
Okay, I would say Noah. No, I'm just kidding, Brendan.
Hey, oh,
Petty as hell.
I'm
I'm gonna remember that in basketball today.
Oh my god, I was a joke, bro. Don't cross
I'm gonna
me
remember
over.
that.
Brendan, the top half of your head looks real angry right now.
My second place team, Brendan.
Yeah, and then Noah. Who do you think you're second? The second
Alex.
best. You said. All right. So me and Brendan are tied.
Why do you put Alex over Brendan as second best? What's your logic?
Yeah.
I don't like Brendan.
Oh, okay.
All right. So for our third best team, Brendan, who do you have as your third best team?
It has to be Noah. Well,
Noah. It's all
yeah.
Noah. So at the end of the day, Brendan and I tied. Hamza got first, and Noah got third because we tied. Or no, would it still be
It would be
fourth?
fourth.
Yeah, it'd be fourth. I'm sorry, Noah.
Damn, it's a cool world, bro.
Well, there's our all-time fantasy draft. Let me know down below in the comments who you think had the best team. I don't know when this is coming out, so just check out the video on the screen. Peace out.